we are going to start with a match for the new World Heavyweight Championship between Seth freaking Rollins and AJ Styles. Obviously, this comes following the tournament that started off with a series of triple threat matches that led to Seth Rollins defeating Finn Balor and AJ Styles defeating Bobby Lashley to reach these finals. So James, obviously I'm going to ask you at some point who you think is going to win, but first I want to ask you, do you think this will main event, or do you think the tag team championship match between the Bloodline and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will main event? Because this seems to be a point of contention amongst fans.
For me, this is a case of what I want versus what I think is going to happen. What I want is for this match to main event. I want the new World Heavyweight Championship to be decided in the main event because it's a World Championship. It should be treated like a World Championship. That said, all titles are worth less than Roman right now, apparently. So I don't think that the world title match is going to main event. I think the tag team title match is going to main event instead. So it is what it is. Second place ain't bad, Seth or AJ. Second place ain't bad.
Well, isn't that the whole point of this fucking title? So
it's such a shame. All right. For the sake of the belt, for the sake of the brand, it needs to be Seth Rollins. I am putting money on Seth Rollins, figuratively. We don't support gambling here at the Markdown Podcast.
The top 5 worst wings I've ever seen. Chad, welcome back.
Hola.
So where do you think this will be on the card? Whether it's the main event or not, and who you got?
I think this will be, I totally agree with James. I think this will be a secondary main event. I think the main event will be Solo and Roman versus Sammy and Kevin. Who do I have winning? Okay, so I'm gonna say something slightly polarizing. I think we all will vote Seth wins, but I really, really, really want AJ to win. I know he's not going to, and I'm fine. I've gotten myself over it, but just a returning AJ as the World Heavyweight Champion fighting every week would just be amazing for me. But Seth absolutely deserves it, and I think Seth is going to win it. So there.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a trifecta, like you said. I think Seth kind of has to win this match just because it's the entire point of the title is to give Raw a title while Roman is on SmackDown. And I think had AJ been on Raw, he would have been a fantastic choice, to be this. I don't want to call it the inaugural champion because I do believe they said that this is going to have the history of the old World Heavyweight Championship, which is weird because that's also wrapped up in the title Roman has, but I digress. But obviously it needs to be put on Seth, and quite frankly, Seth deserves it. The last 2 years, he's been on an absolutely phenomenal run, no pun intended, and he's done some of his best work, in my opinion. So give him the title he deserves, and let him I don't want him to run roughshod over Raw, but let him defend it, have a good time, and put on some great feuds and some great matches. As for where this is on the card, I think I have to agree that the Roman match will be main eventing. Like James said, Roman is bigger than everything else right now, including his titles. But I am curious to actually see if this opens the show the way we opened our show with it, just because this is a match that could get the crowd very into it, very hyped, very excited. It's for this new title. Opening the show is still a very prestigious slot on the show, even though traditionally the further down the card you are, the better your match is supposed to be. But I think if you open the show with this, you draw in a lot of people. You can have Seth celebrating throughout the rest of the night if you want, backstage or whatever. Maybe even set up his first feud heading into Raw, not this week obviously, but the week after, depending on how quickly they all get home. But I think this could open the show and do a very good job of doing so, especially because obviously these two guys can go and they got good chemistry together. So I'm hyped for it either way.
I also want to bounce off what Chad said. I would be totally happy with AJ winning. I love AJ. And I think there's a fun story element to Roman maybe helping AJ win, because that means AJ has to go to Raw and he doesn't want to face AJ to defend his titles. He doesn't want the bloodline that's broken right now to take on the OC. I think that would be some great stuff. That said, I do think we are getting.
Even though I don't love the OC.
I say what you will about the Good Brothers. I love AJ having support.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And I like Carl Anderson. It stops there.
Come on, be nice to Festus.
I think
I like Festus. I dislike Doc Gallows. I cannot explain why. I really don't know.
Come on, Oop. Come on, good brother.
I think we can all agree, though, that Sour Boy is the worst.
The worst. Oh, I hate Sour Boy.
But I think that would be a very interesting way to do that as well. I guess, have they announced officially that this title will be on Raw?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess you could move AJ over. That is an intriguing proposition. Roman costing Seth, continuing their feud.
Oh my God, the OC versus Judgment Day and shit. All the stables are on Raw besides the Bloodline.
Yeah, there's a lot of intrigue to AJ winning this. I have no problem with it either. I just think Seth at the moment maybe just deserves a little more. And either way, I think both these guys are great options, like I said, and they will both bring prestige to this title. So
absolutely, they're not going to swerve us though. It's absolutely going to be Seth.
Yeah, I think it will be Seth.
It's just, it makes the most sense, and I think in this time, simple is best.